Okay, so one of the other things you guys need to know how to do is to make cut lines in Adobe Illustrator, because Canva doesn't really have this option. So when we do stickers or things that need to be cut out, specifically around like a letter or a picture, we need to use Adobe Illustrator until Canva comes up with a way to do it. So I'm going to show you guys. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go File, New, and I'm going to make a sticker that is 5x5. And I'm just going to put down one of my Bobcat images because I know they tend to work pretty well. See if I can find it. Bobcat head, there we go. Alright, so it's gigantic. This is actually a good thing. So we zoom out, Control minus, and we shrink our picture now. Right now, if you hold Shift on your keyboard and shrink it, it will stay scaled. If you don't, then you know how it can get like squatty and stretched. So hold down Shift, shrink it, put it on your screen, then zoom back in so you can see what you're doing. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then what we also need to do now, so this is what we want to print, the Bobcat head, but we want a cut line around the Bobcat head so it's not just a white square, because that's what the printer will do. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our layers window. Sometimes this automatically pops up, other times it does not. Okay? So then we need to add a new layer. When we go back to layer 1, we're going to click on the image and we're going to hit Control C. Control C to copy. And we're going to go to layer 2. Now, we don't hit Control V, we want it to paste right on top. So we're going to go Edit, and we're going to go Paste in place like that. Okay, so now if I hide layer 1, you won't even notice because they're exactly on top of each other. So I am going to actually lock layer 1 and I'm going to hide it so that we don't mess with layer 1 because that's our actual image. Okay, now the next step, some of you will remember this, we're going to live trace the Bobcat head. Okay, and then we're going to expand. This is what we did for laser engraving, which most of you know how to do. Then I'm going to click off of the Bobcat head. I'm going to use the white direct select arrow. Then I'm going to click on the background of the Bobcat head and I'm going to hit backspace. Now I also want to get rid of this TM. I'm just going to get rid of that. Oop, actually, I better not right now because it's not going to matter. We're going to cut around it anyway. Okay, so now the next step, this is probably the most important thing we want to do, is we want to go back to our selection tool, the black one. We want to click on the whole Bobcat and we want to get rid of the fill color. But we want to have an outline so we can see what we're doing, so that's called the stroke. We'll make that black. Okay, now that we've got this, so this is our layer 2. This is what we're going to actually cut. You can see layer 1 still there, but we're hiding it. And then we need to go through and get rid of all the stuff on the inside that we don't want it to cut out. So now that we don't have a fill color, I can just drag. Just got to be careful you don't move it. If you accidentally move it, just Control Z to get out of it. Alright, now we get rid of all this stuff. This is a really easy example of how to do this. There are much more difficult ones that we'll get to later, but this is just your basic cutout. This works well for letters and stuff too. So like if we're doing our mural, we're going to need some letter cutouts. So I'm just getting rid of anything that is in the inside. Otherwise it'll try to cut all this stuff and our final result will not be what we want. And there we go. I think I got everything now. I think I can get that TM out of there. Yep. Boom. Okay. So there's our cut line. Not yet, but almost. And then there's our picture. So the only other thing we need to do is we need to name this cut line. Alright. So we're going to click on it. Actually, I'm going to do one more thing just to make sure. Let's unite this just to make it one solid line. So there's another window. It's called the Pathfinder window. It's right here. This probably won't do anything because this is already a pretty nice line, but sometimes you get little dots and weird things that we don't want. We want the cut to be nice and smooth. So I'm going to hit Unite. And like I said, it didn't really do anything because this is already a nice solid line. But if you've got like a bunch of dots and weird things, hitting Unite will make one solid line. Okay? So now, last step is we need to name this cut line. So how we do that is we go up here to our stroke box, and we do the drop down, and then we click on this right here. It says New Swatch. Okay? And now this is important. If you don't do this right, it won't work. You have to name it Cut Contour, capital C, lowercase ut, capital C, no space, O-N-T-O-U-R. Change this color type to spot color. And then these colors have to be all magenta. So 0, 100, 0, 0. Hit OK. And then the final, last step, click off it, make sure it looks kind of pink. It's too thick though, this won't cut. We need to change our stroke value to 0.001, and I'll make it really thin and faint there. And now we bring back our layer 1 just to make sure that it looks good, and we're good. Now sometimes you'll see stickers that will have like a white border around, but in the shape. You could increase the size of this if you wanted to make it a little bit bigger, so you'd have a white kind of thin border, but I'm just going to leave it as a direct cut right around the image, make a nice clean bobcat head. So it'll print this TM, but all of the stuff will get cut out. So that is the basic intro on how to do a cut line in Adobe Illustrator for stickers. You could use the same process for letters and for a lot of other things. But some pictures require specific techniques that we can talk individually about. But this is your basic idea, and this will help you do your assignment for today.